This is just the start of getting this thing on the trailer. It's going to be a tough one getting on the trailer. Hopefully the wheels are going to rotate. The shifting lever goes into neutral and into the different gears. So unless the brakes are frozen, should allow them to rotate, you know, to roll up on the trailer. Another thing too, that tire being flat really lowers the level of that blade on that side. And when it comes up over the ramps, you know, your ramps are at an angle. And when it comes up that angle right there at the very top, the apex, that that blade with that flat tire may drag and give us a bit of an issue. Hang around a little while and you'll see what poor boys do to you, another piece of junk home. We'll get to look at it a lot closer once they get it out, get it on the trailer, get it back to the shop. But right in front there, you can see the scarifiers that hydraulically go down, you know, to churn up your dirt or whatever. And of course, the big heavy blade. And underneath that piece of metal there, that sheet metal, is the hydraulic pump and everything that's driven off the front of the engine. Tremendously heavy. Cast iron 20-inch front wheels, big old heavy front end. All the works underneath here is tremendously heavy. And it's also got the standard, I think you're probably 14 9/38 on the back, farm tread, agricultural tread. Well, you can see I've been over here with the jack. I went ahead and jacked it up and got a couple of rotten 2x underneath that totally flat tire. That tire was completely down, well, it's flat completely, but the rim several inches into the dirt. And of course this tire over here was flat. We went ahead and put air in the tube, and that one there held up. The one on the right did not. I'm going to go back to the shop and see if I've got an M that holds air and try to pull one of the wheels off of that in order to go ahead and put onto this thing here and make it much easier to roll. I have no idea what this thing weighs, but I know it's going to go probably 10.5 to 11,000, maybe 11.5. Well, we're back over here with what I think we're going to need to get this thing out of the woods and on the trailer. Got a different tire we're going to go ahead and change out on this guy right here. This thing's pretty much blowed out, rusted out and everything, you know, all over the bottom. Don't pay too much attention to my stacked blocks right here. You know, that's actually lifting some weight. But if you look over here, up underneath the blade is rigid mount. And I've got this side of the tractor completely supported with that other hydraulic jack. So, yeah, it looks a little precarious. It is. You wouldn't want to lay down underneath it or anything like that, but it's good enough for what we're doing. So I'm going to go ahead and pop this off here. When I was fortunate enough to have WD-40 with me last week, I sprayed down the lug nuts, and I've already cracked them loose this morning, so they're ready to come. They're ready to come completely off. I have a 4-way truck lug wrench that's got the 1 1/16 on it that would fit these perfectly. I completely forgot that this morning. No biggie. I'd have to take a little more pressure off of it for that last one. There's always one in it. This is a case where you need a bigger hammer. And there it is. Now if you guys notice, most of the time when I'm around the tire this size, I've always got one hand up on top of the tire like that, simply because a tractor this large can literally come off the blocks and it can crush you fairly quickly. If you're working on this and you got your hand up there on the tire, if this thing, you can feel any subtle movement instantly if the tractor is to give a little bit, or a good chance it will literally push you back as the tractor and tire will fall. That's just my own 2 cents worth. Well, that's that. Now it's time to put the other one on. I wish I'd have brought a wire brush. Well, we managed to get the tire on, and we got it broke loose out of the ruts. So being sunk this into the ground, we've now at least got it up on top of the dirt. So he's going to kind of push it a little bit and see what we can get without the winch. It'd be kind of nice if we could load the whole tractor just like this. That didn't either.
Got none brakes.
Well, the old 580 case did a pretty good job getting this thing loaded. Didn't really need the winch that much, except for that little bit, and he just pushed it the rest of the way right on up. You kind of got to see just a little bit of what it takes to retrieve one of these things, you know, from where it's been sitting for a while. I think the last time this one ran was 96 or 1997, somewhere around that general area. We don't know, can't quite pinpoint it for sure, but hopefully it's not going to take all that much. Well, you know, it's got some magneto issues, I'm sure, you know, and some fuel issues, but we'll get to the bottom of it eventually. But at any rate, might continue this on a little bit whenever I get along back to my shop. Well, at least made it home, didn't kill nobody. But what this is about a 1947, 46 or 47 International M or Farmall M. It's got the power grader front end. It's manufactured by the Meili Blumberg Corporation in New Holstein, Wisconsin. But this is the power grader that's all hydraulic. It's got hydraulic scarifiers or rippers up here in front. It's got hydraulic tilt on the front wheels, and of course the blade tilts up and down and rotates all hydraulically. Behind this is the big control valve that all the levers are actually going to control to make all that stuff happen. And the hydraulic system, there's a hydraulic reservoir back in behind here, and I know the hydraulic system is driven by a pump right off of the front of the crankshaft on this tractor. It's got its issues. Now I'm looking at it, the carburetor's not going to be pleasant. Everything is rusted up. It's been sitting there for so long. Even though it was covered up, you know, the tarps and everything deteriorated over the years and things rust up. So it's going to be a project to get this thing even running. So at any rate, you guys got a little taste of what we go through sometimes to retrieve some of these things. The smaller tractors, it's really not that bad. Like say this is just a plain old M without this power grader on it. There's nothing to loading, you know, a tractor like that. It's still a small tractor. But when you start adding 1,000 pounds of weight to it, like this right here, well, you see the issue we had, you know, with loading it. And I'm happy to get it home, but now I got to start soaking stuff and start looking for parts and pieces. Fortunately, I have a donor M down in the woods. That's where the tire came from, you know, we put on the right rear, and I'm pretty sure it's going to donate quite a few parts to it. So at any rate, this will bring this one to a close, and I hope you enjoyed it. And this is Tractor Man 44, and I am out of here, guys.